Weekly, GarageBand, GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand Weekly. Need an answer to your question. John, he'll have a suggestion. He's a fountain of all knowledge. I think he might have gone to GarageBand College. What he doesn't know, we'll try and find out. So join the chat and give him a shout. Pete John, Pete John, GarageBand Weekly.
Yes, it's time for GarageBand Weekly and time to reveal and pull back the curtain. Here I am in the GarageBand Den of Mystery. It's a green screen with a cool 80s backdrop. But this is GarageBand Weekly. My name is Pete Johns, and for the next hour or so, we'll be talking all things GarageBand, creating on your iPhone, your iPad, your Mac, all about the Apple universe, and most importantly, about creating, recording and releasing your best music, because that is what we're all about around here. That is the goal, the mission statement, and why we all meet here each and every week. Today, our feature topic, we're going to be taking a GarageBand iOS project, throwing it over into Logic Pro. It's my song Goats, because I need to do a remaster of it, and I'll reveal more about that a bit later. But if you're watching the replay, timestamps down below, jump straight to that if you want to skip over the news and notes. But we do have some cool things to talk about, so don't be too hasty in just jumping over there. Hello to the folks who are here live. I'll say g'day to you in just a jiffy as well. I hope you are all doing exceptionally well. Yes, the Den of Mystery. It's been renamed. We'll say g'day to folks in just a moment. And as we are each and every week, we're brought to you by me. This show is brought to you by The Gear Guide. It is the season. 'Tis the season to buy gear. Fa la 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 la. So if you go over to studiolivetoday.com/gear, this is what you will find. It has links here. These are affiliate links, which means if you make a purchase, you pay the same amount, but they break off a chunk and they send it my way. So thank you if you choose to do that. So whether you're shopping on Amazon, Sweetwater, eBay, or Thomann this Black Friday season, you can go ahead here and click through those links, and then anything you buy will be an affiliate sale. So, and if you would like to see what I'm using, here's my complete mobile rig, here's my complete desktop rig, and we have categories here. We have the master list, and then all the categories, every audio interface, microphone, lightning adapter, camera, mixer, headphone, you name it. Everything I've used and continue to use here in the studio is on the Gear Guide. studiolivetoday.com/gear is the place to go. How about we say g'day to some fine folks who are here on the live show. We have the wonderful Thomas Christ, the equally wonderful Jade Star. Aloha to Kihalo. Thank you for being here, Mr. Marky Mark, and the Funky Bunch Bro. Hello to Avon. Hello, I hope you are doing well, my friend. I'm in the middle of a party on the beach. Well, there you go. This is probably just as much of a fun party. Goat stew on the menu. Yes, g'day to the Mix Club. Hope you are doing well there. Thank you, Thomas. Yes, there is the Gear Guide. And as Thomas says, look, you can help keep the lights on around here in a lot of ways. You can hit the thumbs up, guns up button. You can leave comments. You can share the show with others. You can join the Patreon. You can donate. You can use the Gear Guide. Like, there's really no excuse to not... No. I appreciate each and every one of you for what you do. Thank you, Fat Panda Cat, for being here. G'day, Bradley McKnight. I hope you are doing well, my friend. We've got Mr. Ed Z. Zelitsky in the house. Hello to you. Hello to Emilio as well. Hope you are doing well. If I've missed you, doesn't mean I don't love you. Just means that there's always lots of catching up to do with the folks in the chat. So yeah, I would be too if I was in a part of the world. It just happens to be 9:30 a.m. So no judgment here at all. Think of buying a drum set, not for music, just to piss off the neighbours. And hello, Psycho7, our resident Facebook viewer over there on the Book of Faces. Thank you for being here as well. Let us dive in, shall we, to some news and notes. We've got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things happening around the community that I'll be getting to. And the number one thing I wanted to talk about is that Black Friday, it's around the corner. Now, okay, let's be clear on this. Black Friday is not a time where you have to go out and completely destroy the credit card and buy all the stuff that you don't really need. What it is a fantastic time to, if there's that bit of gear you've been coveting for a long time, get it for 20% less. If you, like me, you need guitar picks, you need strings, you need cables, you need all that sort of jazz, this is a great time for that as well. So, yeah, I wanted to lead in by saying that don't put yourself into difficult situations because it's not about the gear, right? It's about the song. Always said, $1 million song on an iPhone is still better than a crap song in $1 million studio. And I'll stick by that forever. All right, let's jump over here because we have this coming up. Down in the description, you'll find a link to this. This is happening on Friday. It is our Gear Chat Live, our Black Friday marathon stream. Yes, it's Pete Host's TV shopping network, basically. But what we'll be doing there is we'll be diving in and we'll be checking out all of the deals that are going down for Black Friday. So if you've had your big turkey day or whatever you've done on the Thursday, then you can tune in on the Friday afternoon. If you're in the West Coast, it's going to be from 2 p.m. We're going to go for about 3 or 4 hours. On the East Coast from 5 p.m. If you're in the UK from 10 p.m. and here in good old Australia town, it's Saturday morning. We don't have Thanksgiving. We don't have Black Friday. In fact, I was getting cartoon level angry about the fact that everyone was advertising Black Friday sales in Australia, despite the fact that we don't do Thanksgiving. And then I saw a really funny ad from Super Cheap Auto, like a car accessory place, and they're like, it's our Black Friday sale. We don't know what Black Friday is. Is it something to do with Thanksgiving or Halloween? We don't know. So it's like, it's our because we can sale. And I'm like, yeah, that's good. I actually like that. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll cut down on the shopping time. Exactly. Shopping live. Yeah, that's right. We should change the name of the channel just for that day to Shopping Live Today. That would be fun. Very cool stuff. Having a marathon nap. Yeah, well, you can put me on in the background. Some people have said that my voice is soothing and puts them to sleep. I know, isn't that creepy? I don't know if that's good, bad, or somewhere in between, but folks have said to me that sometimes they put the podcast on studiolivetoday.com/podcast just because my droning voice and my accent just like sends them off into a slumber. Don't know quite how to take that. Yeah, and look, that's the thing. Black Friday is exactly. I saw like Sanjay C had a Black Friday video out already. It's all happening. In fact, let's just have a quick look because I did see there was something. Actually, no, you know what it was? It was the exact brand of New Balance sneaker that I wear. They're 20% off. And hey, you know what? It's not just about your audio gear this time of year. Go and buy everything. But yeah, if you go to your Amazon.com, there's already the Black Friday deals. You want a vacuum, you want things going on there. The easiest way, by the way, to get there, I should show you the Gear Guide way. So if you're going into Amazon, just go here, click on your country, your region, and it'll actually take you into the category of music gear, and you'll be able to see right at the top there the Black Friday deals. So the Eris. See, these are the PreSonus Eris speakers, and they're a common one that are on sale. So if you need yourself some monitor speakers, this is the 4.5 inches, and they're $119.99, which is a bloody good price. These are amazing speakers. I've got the 3.5s, which are these ones here, which don't seem to be in stock at the moment. But yeah, the 4.5 inch PreSonus Eris for $119.99 is a ridiculously good deal. So yeah, there's always things to be found over there. So yeah, and that's a good piece of kit for your home studio. If you haven't got some monitor speakers yet, that's something that's actually good. Well, there's a lot of other stuff in here, and to be honest, the wheat from the chaff, it's 90% stuff that no one really wants. Like a lot of stuff I've never heard of before, but you might as well jump in there and take a look, because there might be, look, Universal Audio. We've got some UA audio interfaces. So this is, I know our friend Brad example is looking at the UA Vault. Now's the time to buy, because why not get 15% off? Pick it up for $160 instead of the usual $189. So yeah, there's deals, there's stuff out there, but again, I'm the worst salesperson ever. That's why I probably got out of working in sales, because my first thing I say to people is, don't buy it if you can't afford it. I should be saying, throw caution to the wind, max out the credit card, buy everything. Exactly. It'll soon be Christmas. Yeah, it all just merges together now, isn't it? I said they should just call them permanent sales, because why not? All right, so that's the Black Friday. Don't forget the gear guide there as well. A couple of little things that came across my desk in the last week that are GarageBand adjacent or music creation adjacent, and one looks pretty cool and came to us from our friend Scott. Scotty Baby, who you might have heard his music on Your Music Live. He's been emailing me in the last couple of months, and he's come across this one, which I hadn't. I don't know if anyone here in the community has. If you have and you've tried it, let me know here in the live chat or in the comments if you watch it on the replay. But this is Mastering.studio, which is an AI mastering service. It is new. It is free. And it seems to be kind of unlimited. I'm looking for the catch. I haven't found it yet, except that, of course, you have to sign up. So like most things that are free, you pay with your data. But if you don't care about paying with your data, it looks kind of cool. It looks like you're going to get yourself free CD level masters here. I guess that it does say here 16-bit 44.1 kilohertz. So to get the 24-bit label quality, $6.99 per track. But similar to BandLab. BandLab mastering is 16-bit for free as well. So maybe that's the catch there, that if you want it 24-bit, you need to pay. And it looks like they're doing distribution as well, because everyone's doing distribution these days. All the cool kids are doing it. So yeah, Scotty Baby tells me that this is cool. I haven't checked it out yet, but definitely something that I will be playing with, because there seems to be there's an awful lot of mastering options out there, and it used to be that there was sort of Lander and E-mastered, and and now there's just a plethora, a veritable plethora. And of course, in order to ensure that no conflict of interest, this channel has shows sponsored by DistroKid, who are a distributor as well, and do have a mastering option, Mixia, which is actually really good. It is a paid service, but it is really, really good. So that is something that you may want to check out. The other thing that came across my desk as well that's pretty interesting for our Mac users, and I know, is it sacrilege to say there's another door out there that's not GarageBand, but the Luna DAW. There's now a free version you can download, no hardware required, and this is from Universal Audio, who we just talked about. They make gear, they also make software, and this is their DAW. Have I tried it? No. But again, some people that I know and trust have said it's kind of cool. Mac only, so not for our mobile users. But if you're looking for a different option, I always say to folks, even though I use GarageBand and now I use Logic Pro, I don't care what you use. Use whatever works for your workflow. Ableton works for some folks. Fruity Loops works for some folks. Pro Tools, of all things, works for some folks. So go and check that out. But yeah, there's a free version there that you can download and play with for free, or you can get the Pro bundle. And again, the reason for the free version is you get the 30-day free trial, because of course you do. Everyone's doing it. But it has some pretty cool stuff in here, because it's the API and the Neve summing. So you got some sort of analog plugins there that look like they do some cool things that might be worth playing around with. Do I have room in my life for another digital audio workstation? Possibly not. But it's worth putting out there, because some folks may not be aware that these services are out there, and they exist if you want to go and try it. Brad says, of course, I bought the Vault a few days ago, and it's still not on sale. I knew the bundle wouldn't get a sale. I knew it. So yeah. Look, and the other thing about this is, if you're buying things, the best time to buy things is now, and the best time to regret your decisions is never, because you can't put the genie back in the bottle, unless you can. Sometimes you can return things and then buy the sale item. Don't tell them I told you that. But sometimes you can. Russ loves Christmas. I've heard that about Russ. He loves dressing up as jolly old Saint Nick and scaring the children. Yes. You always have room in your life for more workstations. Just not room in your house. Yeah, that is the truth, considering that this is my everything room. It looks like I have this nice, 80s style den, but really in front of a green screen in my bedroom, because that's how it is. No, unfortunately, only on Mac. So Luna is just for your Mac. But if you're on iOS, you got options there. You got Cubase, Soria Pro. Jade, what was the one that Jade mentioned? If Jade's around, there's another newer one that Jade was playing with or told me about that I've completely forgotten about. Again, I bring this news to you not because I'm probably going to try it out, but because because it's an option. Mix Club says, I did a CD recorded on the old blackface ADAT, printed to 4416, label called, and said they needed 48. They did not like 44, so I just converted it and sent it back, and they loved it. Yeah, isn't that funny? It's weird because sometimes there's these requirements, and yeah, sometimes you can just upscale things and just change it, and no one's the wiser. They're like, oh, it must be recorded at 48 kilohertz, and you'd be like, yeah, sure, it was recorded at 48 kilohertz, and then you just get your 44.1 and convert it, and no one's any the wiser. Loopy Pro, yes, exactly, Loopy Pro with a very different workflow, but something that works just as well. FL Studio Mobile, what am I missing? Beatmaker 3, yeah, there's a heap of different options. Hello, Timothy. Hello, Joe and Barry. Glenn. The last thing that I wanted to draw your attention to that's happening before all that, forget about your selfish tendencies and forget about doing things for you. How about you do things for other folks? Yeah? I think you should. I think you should tune into this one. This is a double album launch over on Jade's channel, Music for Life, a 2-CD, a double album launch and release. If you don't know what this is all about, it is from our mate Russ8889. He's put together an absolute all-star team of creators. Here he is chatting about it. I've linked this video and the other one, but yeah, take a look at this list of creators here. Yours truly on there. We've got Delicate Giants, got Dragon Lady, Dr. Zorders, Ed B. Metal, Pole Vault. I mean, yeah, Forest of the Wolf. It is the all-stars of this sort of home studio mobile recording community. And yeah, it is such a great idea and such a good cause there, because it is a charity album for the Teenage Cancer Trust. So go and check out Russ, the handsome visage of Russ8889 there, and then join him and Jade for the launch of that double album. It's going to be Thursday afternoon. After you got your gut full of bird, you can come and check that one out. And going to be a good old time for shores. That is the news and notes for this week. If you've got any other news that you want to bring to my attention, you can always throw it down in the comments. I love getting comments because someone said to me the other day, how do you get ideas for your videos? And I said, I read the comments because honestly, it tells me what people are interested in. What videos are getting the most comments means I should probably do videos more about that sort of topic. And a lot of the questions that I get down in the comments just become the next video. So if you wonder, hey, how does Johns get a video available every day? It's because of you and your comments and your feedback. So thank you. Is it available to buy on Thursday? I'm imagining it'll be ready to go, ready to stream and buy. But maybe Russ or Jade, if you want to give us some details, I'm sure all the details will be revealed on the Thursday. But yeah, if you want to get your buy-in, your clicking fingers ready, then do so. And yeah, if Jade or Russ have any other info, let us know. All right, should we dive into our feature topic? I think we should. I think it's about bloody time. Our feature topic today is all about transferring from GarageBand iOS to Logic Pro for iPad. Now, I did a quick video on this, but I wanted to really dive into this because I'll give you the backstory and then we'll dive in and do this. I released a song called Goats. Now, I've already mentioned previously that I use DistroKid for all of my music releases now, but at the time I was testing out a free music distribution platform called Amuse. So I released a few songs using Amuse. The problem that I had with Amuse, and some people would say it's an advantage and a feature, but the challenge I had is that Amuse automatically put on something called YouTube Content ID. And what that meant is that when I used anything from this song called Goats on the channel, I would get a copyright claim from myself. So I released this originally under the band name Fearcut, and I released it through Amuse. And because I did a whole series of videos about how I created this song and then released it, all those videos got a content claim. Now, it didn't really matter because it just meant that instead of getting paid the ad revenue for those videos, I got paid the ad revenue through Amuse. But it kind of put a bit of a spanner in the works in terms of the process, because it just made life a lot more difficult. So I decided to pull it down and I'm going to re-release it. But I thought, what a good opportunity, because I recorded this in GarageBand about 5 years ago. And look, I've learned a lot of things about mixing and about mastering over that time. So I thought, what better time than now to pull this over into Logic Pro, see whether it needs anything re-recorded, perhaps. See whether it needs anything, any new mixing, any different sounds in there, maybe something added, and then master using the brand new mastering assistant in Logic Pro for iPad. So I thought, yeah, this is the time. This is a good opportunity to do all of those things. So that is what we are going to do in just a jiffy. Let's load up here. We'll bring you into my iPad screen. Are we working here? Yes, we are. We are good to go. So what I've done is I've taken the most recent version of Goats, and all I've done is created this new version of it here in GarageBand called Goats for Logic. Now, for those that haven't heard the song before, why don't we just take a little listen, both to do a bit of a sound test here and to make sure that you're familiar with the song. It's a punk song. It's supposed to be like an homage to the four-piece pop punk kind of rock and sound of the mid-90s, a little Blink 182-y, and goes a little something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, let's go! I find it hard to be okay with all the things that are happening. So you can hear the classic John's mixing his vocals a little bit too loudly there, but we've got bass, we've got guitar, we've got the classic Anders drummer, which we may need to do something about. We've got some vocals there, we've got some backing vocals here, we've got a few effects and things, and you'll see all these vocal tracks down here. These are for a little section where I got my family involved. So this part of the song, if you're looking at all these little wave files and going, what the heckerine is happening there, this is where I got the family to do some goat sounds. So let's just take a quick listen to this. Rage like me. There you go. Yeah, the first line is relevant. I know this is the thing. I wrote this a long time ago, and probably has as much, if not more, relevance now than it ever has. Because I don't know about you, but I find it hard to be okay these days with all the things that are happening in this world. And this was before. This was like back in the before time, in the long ago. So yeah, we'll see what we do with this one. So let's dive in and get this done now, shall we? So what we need to do is jump out of this one, jump back over to here. Now I've saved this in this folder here, Goats for Logic. The easiest way to come and find this is to go over to Logic. So to switch over to Logic for iPad, and all we need to do, in fact, will it be in our recent? It won't, because it hasn't been. Yes, it is. There you go. It's right there in our recent. So it'll actually bring this in. Now, when I tap on this one, it'll say, this was created with GarageBand. Would you like to Logicify it? And yes, I indeed would. So we're going to hit the continue button there. We're going to cross our fingers and our toes. And voila! Le Logic Pro version of Goats. So now we can play around with this. Now, there's a few caveats here. If you're a GarageBand aficionado, you'll notice that there's a couple of things that are missing. So there's some disadvantages here too. We don't have song sections. So see up the top there, we've got the overall cycle mode there that's for the whole thing. But we don't have song sections. And the other thing is, it hasn't brought in any of those, even like what I would hope that they would do is perhaps they'd bring in song sections as markers. That was kind of my assumption when Logic Pro was first released, is that if you don't have song sections like GarageBand does, why not bring those in as markers? Because again, if you're not familiar with the GarageBand song sections and why we would use those, if we just jump back into this version here, up the top here, you've got these. You've got song sections. Now, in this case, does it really matter? No, because I've only got two sections there. I've got my lead in of 8 bars, and then I've got 112 bars. So I didn't use song sections for this one, so it didn't really matter. But just as something to keep in mind, that if you are a song section user and you're wondering, hey, Goober, where's my song sections? That's where it's at. It doesn't actually have those in there. The other thing in here that I'm probably going to be able to play around with that's pretty cool is that I've done some things here that are very GarageBand centric that we'll go through and I'll show you as we explore this project. Things like when I wanted a delay on this very last word, you can see here that there's my lead vocals, and then I've actually got this track here, which is just a 100% delay. And the only way to do this in GarageBand was to do literally this. So here, I'll just play this little part just to make sure this has all come across. Here's the vocal.
Karen, I wanna be as free as goats.
So there's me saying goats, but what I wanted is some reverb, some delay on that, but I didn't want delay on the leading up bit. So if I just threw delay on this whole track, it would be Lee as free as goats, as free as goats, as free as goats, as free, like that. I just want it to be goats, 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 goats. So I created this track that is literally just that one last word, but just has the delay on it. It's got 100%. If we come in here and we go to the plugins, which I can do down here now, and we look at the echo on this, you can see here it's 100% wet and it's 0% dry. So this is only the word, and you'll see, see how when it went past there, it doesn't say the original goats? But when we bring it back in here with the original version with this effect,
Aaron, I wanna be as free as goats.
there you go. So yeah, it's an interesting thing here, because what we could do is here in Logic Pro, because we've got the echo on here already. In fact, we don't. We've got the stereo delay on here. But what we could do here is actually add the echo and then automate it. Because as you may be aware, if you've been playing around with Logic Pro, not only can you automate the volume, but you can also automate things like your panning, but you can also automate all of your plugins and all of the options in all of your plugins. So it gives you some additional options and details to do there. So my question to you, and feel free if you're watching here live or if you're watching on the replay, you can also let me know, is what do you think we need to do with this song? Do we need to re-record anything? Is there anything that you'd love to hear? And we'll go through each of these and I'll take you through the project and see what we've got in here. And then what I'm going to do is, without doing a whole lot on here, I'm going to do a quick master with the mastering assistant, because it'll be interesting to see how this goes in terms of the volume that it's brought across from GarageBand. So we'll put the limiter on there, and we'll put the meter on there and see what the actual metering looking like as we go, and we'll see what the mastering assistant can do with this one. So we'll see that. Emilio says maybe slow down the tempo and speed it up in the final chorus with the tempo and flex and flow for audio. Yeah, see, there's an idea. That's the sort of things that we can do now that we've brought this into Logic Pro rather than having it in GarageBand. So it gives us a little bit more flexibility and a few more options with what we can actually do. Tricky Johns was my nickname in high school. Not really. All right, so let's go track by track here. Anders on drums. So this was back in the days where, you know, drummer had some limited stuff, and I was doing a rock song and I wanted Anders. And you can see there that I actually used different chunks here. So I very carefully, there was actually a video about how I did this. I carefully went through and changed each one of these. And it seems to have brought these across quite well, and a good representation of the original drums that were in GarageBand. Now, the benefit that we have here is we've got a lot more options here in Logic Pro for drums. So if we come down here to the plugins, we've got the Drum Kit Designer, which is really cool, because what we can actually do is change some of the tones of the kit pieces. We can also change the entire kit itself, but we can change the kit pieces here and the different pitches. So for instance, let's just mess things up here in a big way. Let's so we want that kick tone to be a lot higher, which might be a little bit better, because I've never liked Anders' kick has always been very low and boomy. So originally, like down here, and even with your snare, you can actually change the dampening of your snare. Same with your kick, you can change that. You can change the gain as well. So if I wanted a little bit more snare in here, for instance, and if I want like a higher snare sound, Change the dampening. If you want to sort of kill it. Or get that full sound in there. Bring it back in the mix.
Things that are happening in this world, and I find it.
Exactly. As Thomas says here, another thing we can do here is in the new version. So for instance, let's just say when I do this breakdown down here, what if I want to go to like a different drummer? Well, I can do that now, which is really cool. So if we come in here, so Anders is doing his thing there, and this section we go to a little breakdown.
Free as ghosts.
What if instead of Anders here, we want a different drummer? Well, we can actually come down here and change it up. So we've got the hard rock. And by the way, not called Anders anymore, just called hard rock. But what if we want to go to a funk drummer? Oh, no, it's changed it on everything. Oh, because I had everything selected, didn't I? Hang on. Undo your friend. Okay. There we go. Chap just that one. Don't select all. And so we go to funk rock there. Look at this. So now it's changed it up here, and it's going to go from our rock and drum, our hard rock, to a funk. Let's see what it does.
And I wanna be as free as ghosts.
I mean, it does. It's very different, isn't it?
To the left, dance to the right.
But what we could do is, say we wanted to use the follow for this, we can follow the bass, because actually we want to follow the power chord. Was it? No, it's Tasty Crunch is the bass. So we'll follow the bass, and this will do something different.
As free as ghosts. Dance to the left, dance to the right.
That's kind of cool.
They might be panda.
So yeah, there's possibilities here that we could use. May not leave that as it is. We're just experimenting here with this one because why not? It's fun. There you go. Thomas Christ. Yeah, by the way, you rock, Thomas Christ. And that's also the name of his show. Make sure you check that one out. Thomas Christ, give us a link to this week's You Rock show. For folks that aren't aware, I know that 90% of people that will be watching this will know about You Rock, or just go to your YouTube or your search engine of choice and search out Thomas Christ. You Rock. We got some guitars. So this guitar track was played on my old kind of Strat copy guitar that I very rarely use, but it worked for this song. I wanted something a little bit more of a trashy kind of sound. So let's take a listen and a look at what we did with this guitar. So it's only one guitar for the most part, the rhythm guitar here, only using a single guitar. We've got a second guitar, but that's doing some lead stuff we'll look at in a moment. Again, the cool things we have here is that this has converted our amp into the amp designer. So we get a lot more options in here with our different amp settings that we can use here. So we've got the pedal board. This plugin provides playback compatibility with Mono. You can load presets for this plugin, but the parameter editing is only available when using Logic Pro for Mac. There you go. There's an interesting one. Hadn't realized that before. There you go. So you can't use the pedal board in Logic Pro iOS. Another thing we found out. But what we can do is change this. So you've got reverb on here. You've got modulation. You can adjust the cabinet and the microphone. So we can change the cab. So what if we wanted to... So we'll do this while we play it. But say we wanted to change this from like your standard Stadium 4x12 cab. What if we wanted to go to more of like the Marshall kind of cabinet? So we can tap this one. Go to like the British 2x12. Very different sound, right? What about the vintage British 4x12? And you can even change the mic type you're using. Say you wanted to change from the ribbon. Why won't that tap? There we go. To like a SM57 style. There you go. You can even move the mic placement. So you can get sort of the lower tone there, or bring the mic right up on the speaker. I kind of like it around there. So there you go. We've got a really different kind of sound here, and you got the ability to sculpt your tone a lot more here in Logic Pro than you do in GarageBand. So I don't mean for this to be a giant diss to GarageBand. This is called GarageBand Weekly, and I love GarageBand. In fact, I love and embrace the limitations of GarageBand because you gotta work around things with GarageBand, whereas here in Logic Pro, you get to do some more thing. John Paul Music UK. Hello, JP. I found an email from you, JP, in my inbox that I hadn't read, and I don't know why, because you were launching your looping course. So go check out John Paul Music UK. He does great stuff. He's a looping expert, and I'm sure that course is still available and able to be checked out there. Let's not turn on the cycle. We've got this track here. This is probably my favorite pick scrape that I've ever used in any song ever. It's I don't know what I did, but I reckon it came across good. It's really cool. Don't move that. It's just a really cool pick scrape, and I really like it, and it works in well with the original one. Now that we've changed the tone, it'll be a bit interesting. Still pretty good. Still works. So just one track again for the pick scrape, because we really wanted the pick scrape to like go right back into it, and if I put it there on the original track, it didn't quite work. It didn't have that. Yeah, how good is a pick scrape? Always good to throw it. When you're doing punk, you got to throw a pick scrape in there every now and then, don't you? Let's move on to our next track that we have here. This is our bass. And this is something where I was never particularly happy with the bass tone here. I think we need to rub the bass tone in the dirt a little bit. Even though I used the Tasty Crunch, it's very clean, isn't it? We come down to the plugin, and again, we have the Bass Amp Designer. So we can dive in here, and we can change everything about this. We can change the amp. So we've got the 3 different amp types there. We've got a heap of EQ on here. You've got a full parametric graphic EQ. So if we want to give it a real big, like 100 hertz boost, we can do that. Bring up the bottom end. Roll off the top end. Why is that not doing it? Because I don't have it on. Yes, Thomas, the pick scrape's the equivalent of a riser, isn't it? Exactly right. A good pick scrape is like a good riser in electronic music. Sorry, let's do that again, because I was like, oh, that doesn't seem to be enhancing the bass. So yes, you turn on the graphic equalizer, and then... So I think we probably need a little extra bass on here, and maybe a little less top end there. And what we should be able to do is, can we, so we've got the amp or the DI mix, so you can actually mix between the direct input and the amp. At the moment we're using all the amp there. How do we get a little bit of gain and drive on here? Well, let's come over here and let's see if we can gain it up there. And you can see there that it's hitting the compressor now pretty hard. If we pull that back, so it might sort of get a little bit of popping going on there. We'll bring it back into our mix.
Is all of the things you say and do, and I need to find another way.
So just a little bit buried in the mix, isn't it? So I'll probably need to find a way to give it a little bit more there, but I just love that we have all of that. And don't forget, we can also add, so say I wanted to add another plugin, I can hit the... If I use my finger, I have to do it. So say we just wanted a little bit of drive on here. We can throw on the overdrive. So we can put an overdrive plug-in here and just give it a very basic overdrive plug-in here. It'll probably be nuts at the default. And you can set the tone where you want that drive to be. Maybe around the middle there. That might be cool.
At one with Joes have it easier than me. They don't.
There you go. You can hear that. You can hear that bass kind of kicking through there a little bit more now. Now, obviously, this won't be my final mix. This is just sort of a play around and to see what some of the options we have here in Logic Pro are. Let's move on to the lead guitar. Emilio says, classic to flip top. Yeah, that's a good idea too. We'll just do that real quick on the bass. If we go here if we're in the bass amp designer, because we're in the classic amp, if we go to the flip top amp, let's see if this is going to give us a little bit more oomph in this bass. Probably going to overdo it now. Well, that's cool. Yeah, that might be good. A little bit more subtle. I like it. I like it. So maybe use the modern American stack. Let's try this out, shall we? Yeah, if you've got ideas or things you want me to look at, we'll try it. So here is our lead guitar. This is like the classic Goats lead riff that I kind of wrote this song around. We'll go into the amp designer. At the moment it's using the British Blues amp. So Emilio's suggesting the modern American stack. What's that going to do to our sound? Gotta find it first. Modern. All right, we'll go with the modern American head, and then instead of the British Blues, we'll go with the modern American stack here. There we go. All right, so let's take a listen to this with some slightly different sound, shall we? What's this going to do to it? Oh, it's made it crunchy, isn't it? Oh, I don't hate it with that delay. What's it done in the mix here? I'm going to ruin this song, but hey, it's going to be fun. All right, let's try it. Okay, that's got some energy. The overall volume of it might need to just come down a little notch because now it's got a little bit more guts to it, doesn't it? Yeah. All right. So yeah, really, really cool to be able to play around all of this. This is the Logic Pro on iOS version, although most of the stuff is also available on your Mac. In fact, more is available on the Mac. I thought there were more than 3 amp options for the bass designer. I think there's only 3 heads in the bass from memory. Let's add a new track and just double check on that. So if we go here, add a new audio track, and we go to we'll just grab a bass preset. Press the button. We'll just throw the little movement on there, and come in here to the plugin. Bass amp designer, amp. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's only the 3 heads you've got there. You've got the different cabs that you can use. So you can jump in here and play around with the different cabinets, but you've only got the 3. Unless I'm wrong, unless I'm missing something there, but I'm pretty sure we've only got the 3 different amp basses when it comes to that. Was that the same in GarageBand? Did we only have 3? I think we only had 3. I could be wrong. Correct me. That's why we're here. That's why we're all here together. Hello, Emilio C. It's an Emilio party and everyone's invited. Yes, we're in the iOS. Goat on steroids. Beefed up goat. Absolutely. We're beefing up the goat, people. Got to beef up your goat. All right, let's take a look at some vocals. So these vocals, we're using the Punchy Present preset back in GarageBand. They sound like this.
I find it hard to be okay with all the things that are happening in this world. And I find...
So what have we got on here? Let's see. Do we have any EQ? Is that doing anything? Nope. So the EQ is out of the picture. But we have some pretty hard compression on here. So let's jump in and see what settings I have on here. So threshold ratio 4.2 to 1. So we've got a little bit of compression on there, and you can see how much compression. Like, this is a good thing about Logic.
I did harder day by day.
You can see that it's quite squashed, which is a good thing there. This EQ is doing some roll off, so it's basically a very basic kind of high pass or low cut filter. Got a little boost around the mids there just to give it some guts in there, which is was a choice. that I went with at the time. LRC5 here is not on, so we don't need to worry about what that's doing. And that the classic 16th note delay on the left with an 8th note delay on the right. I used to love doing this because you get that kind of ping-pongy, bouncy stereo delay. Take a listen.
Hey, all the news that is fake, all the walls that they make, and there's one thing that I am sure of.
This is what I'm thinking, and I'm worried about scope creep here, but I've always wanted to like maybe experiment with some vocal harmonies in here. One thing that I am sure of, goats have it easier than me, they don't have to work. Something like that. So yeah, maybe that's something that we can do for the future. So I'm pretty happy with the overall vocal tone that we have here. I guess the other things, we have some more kind of in-depth plugins that we can experiment with here outside of, again, don't mean for this to be all the things Logic can do that GarageBand can't, but we do actually have, if we go to the search, by the way, little tip for young players, I always forget this, and some people have said there's no search box here. There is a search box here, but you got to flick down to get to your search box for your effects from there. So people have said to me, oh no, I want to add audio effects. I've then got to come down here and I've got to go through all these and I've got to find them. What if I just want to find something? Well, again, just to show you that, tap on audio effects, then just grab up here and pull down and you're going to get your search box there. So if we go like, what's something that we don't have? What was I trying to think of? Saturation. So is there a saturation plugin? No, it's called something else, isn't it? Let's see if I can remember what it's called. It's under Exciter. Is that what it's called? The Exciter in here that's got like saturation? There we go. The Exciter. We'll throw on the Exciter and see what this can do. And this is where we can sort of start playing around with some of the presets. So if you don't really know what you want to do with this, you can come out to here and you can go with your plugin presets. And say if we want to add vocal edge, that's what this is going to do to it. So let's see what little vocal edge is going to do to our vocal sound here.
I find it hard to be
Turn it off.
okay.
I kind of like that. It's got a little bit
all
of...
the things that are happening in this world.
So you can obviously adjust the frequency and the harmonics.
I find it harder day by day.
A little subtler perhaps.
All the news that is fake, all the walls that they make, and there's one thing that I am sure of. Goats have it easier.
Turn that off. One of the things I wish they'd ported over is the graphic visualization of the compressor. Yes, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if you add not the default compressor, but the Apple AU compressor, you do have the visualization. Let me see if I'm making stuff up here, but we'll go to here again. I reckon if you go in and you go to Apple and you go the AU, is it AU? It's not compression. What do they call it here? I've done it before. Sound isolation, no. Is it the AU dynamic processor? Is it this one? Is this the one you're talking about? Where you can you adjust your attack, your release, and it actually shows you visually what's going on here. Let's see.
Me, they don't have to work, they don't have to lift a finger.
Is this what you mean, Thomas? Where you can adjust this and you can actually see your input, your output level, and where you set your ratios and your threshold, you can actually see.
I think that I might go insane.
And then you can adjust your gain up.
Putting up with all of the things you say and do.
Because that is a cool one, because you can actually see, like, what are these things actually doing? What does it mean when I change my attack and release and my thresholds? So I think that does do that. We'll turn that off for now. But yeah, why they don't just have that in the default one is beyond me. Some of the decisions that were made. Decisions were made, and they weren't always good. So that is vocals, and we've changed them around a little bit there. We'll leave at this point that delay there, but keep in mind we could in the future change some of that around. The other thing is now that it's going to change. It's going to change the sound between these two.
Be at one with. Goats have it easier than
So this sound down here is now going to be different to that one up there. So we might just need to do some changes and duplication. If we were going to do that, basically what you'd want to do is create a brand new track. In fact, let's just do it. I'll show you what we would do here. Because we've changed a lot of the settings on there, we duplicate that one, and then we want to bring all these. So if we tap and drag around, we want to bring all of these up to this track instead of that one. Now you've got to be really careful doing this because you've got to make sure that you pick it up and drop it in exactly the same spot. I don't trust myself to do that, in fact. And it didn't work there anyway. If we just copy, is this going to work? If we copy all these, is that all of them? Nope, got more down there. So if we tap on these and we tap copy, and then what we should be able to do is just make sure that our playhead is perfectly aligned at the front of this one, like so, and then go on there and tap again, and tap paste to playhead. And there you go. So now I've got it there. So we'll just mute out that track and use this. So now this will go straight from here to
Have to lift a finger. Goats have it easier than me. They don't have a care, and I wanna be as free as go.
Yeah. So yeah, not the same, but yeah, it would be good to have it on the basic compressor. Alrighty. Where are we at? So we've done the vocals. These ones down here. What's this one? What's this little bit?
But they're
I forgot that I did have a few little.
with rage like me.
Now, what I've done with these ones is actually moved them. If we come in here to my panning, you'll see that each one of these is sort of panned in a different location. So we've got some here on the left, some on the right, some down the middle. So yeah, they just sort of move, some partially left, some partially right. So as it goes through here.
Like me.
It's so cute because my kids were quite young when we did that one. Don't forget too that Logic has the pedal board as well as tons of Stompbox style distortion effects. Yeah, let's have a quick look at that because I do forget these things. This is why we have Thomas Christ in our life, so you can do this. Let's just go back to our lead guitar and we'll come in here and we'll add the pedal board, amps and pedals, stomp boxes. Yeah, we've got a heap of different stomp boxes that we can use, don't we? Why don't we use a modulation? Because, yeah, as you can see here, like, look how many different ones. What's the tremotone? I want to play with this. It's called stomp box. Yeah, stomp boxes. So, I think I haven't played around with the pedal board setting. So, if there's a better way to do this, I've probably forgotten it. Let's see what this is going to do to our lead guitar tone. Oh, jeebus! No, we don't need quite that much depth. That's kind of cool. So it's at a 1/8 there. What if we do this up to like a 1/16? Not 1/16 triplet. Oh, I might be cool with a triplet. I'll just do a straight 1/16. Maybe an eighth note triplet might be cool. Or a quarter note triplet. This would be interesting. Yeah, we'll just put a little bit of that on there. But yeah, there's literally, like, you saw how many different options there were there. If we hit the plus button again, and you want to come in here to amps and pedals, there's a heap under the stomp boxes. So yeah, dynamics, you got your compressor, we've got a heap of different distortions. So you got like the Monster Fuzz, Tube Burner, Rock. All right, what's Rock going to do? That's pretty cool. That's like the not the DS1, like the DS3, that turbo distortion one. We'll turn that off for now. That might be a little bit too intense, but I like that little bit of that stuff. Yeah, using and misusing the stomp boxes. That's always fun. Turn it up to 11, see what happens, rinse, repeat. All right, we are short on time here, so why don't we jump in and look at mastering. So assuming that we're happy with this, let's just go to a section here and see if we haven't totally ruined it.
To survive in this land, and I might eat a cannon, maybe then I can be at one with goats have it easier than me.
Not bad, actually. For just faffing about, not too bad. So the big benefit that we have here in Logic Pro for iPad is we have our mixer. Yeah. So we've got all of our tracks here. You'll notice that it's brought in the echo and the reverb. These are the master echo and master reverb from GarageBand iOS. So they're on their own separate buses, and you'll notice that all the tracks here have their bus settings up the top here. So each track has got how much reverb and delay have been put on those. So if you're wondering, hey, how do you control your master effects? Well, that's how you do it. There's all of my goat noises that are being panned left and right and center and all over the shop. And then here is the stereo out track. Now, if we just play the track, we can have a look.
They don't have to work, they don't have to lift a finger. Goats have it easier than me.
And you can see here that it's pretty hot. Like, there's not a lot of headroom here. So we're going to throw the mastering plug in here to see what it does, but we can always turn the stereo out down to give ourselves a little bit more headroom and to make the mastering a little better. So where's our mastering plug-in? Well, what we need to do is tap the plus button here to go to our setup mode, tap on mastering, and then there you go. It is going to analyze. It's going to analyze my goat. Tell me about my goats, Logic. Tell me about my goats. All right, so there we go. It's completed that. We can now go, wow, my stomach just said, you need some breakfast, Johns. Because you need that level of detail from me. We're going to tap on the mastering assistant here. So here's where it's got some corrective EQ. So it said, Johns, you're way too mid-rangey. Everything here from 100 of your low mids, your bass and your low mids right up to here. And you need a little bit of a boost in the bass, which I don't disagree with, and a little bit of a boost at the top end. So we can now play this.
Me, they don't have a care, and I want to be as free as go.
So there's my original bypassed, and that's where it is.
That's the left.
Which it has. It's actually brought out, because if you listen to the original version, it is quite kind of...
Dance to the right.
I do love that different funky drum in there.
They might be penned up, but they're not penned up. They might be penned up with rage like me.
That lead guitar tone is really quite weird now. The other thing we can do here is loudness compensation. So what this will do is when we do our bypass and our re-bypass, it'll make sure it's not actually turning it up. Now, it's not actually turning up. It's not turning it up that much because we didn't have that much headroom. But there's with our loudness compensator. We bypassed it. So you can hear it's just a little bit more bassy and midi. The mastering's kind of breathes a little bit more life into it.
Goats have it easier than me. They don't have...
And we have here, we've got our loudness as that we can set here. We can try and turn that up. It'll basically put it to -14 lufs, which is what it recommends that we have there. And we've also got some width here. So I did think that maybe we could actually give this a little bit more width here.
Don't have to work, they don't have to lift a finger. Goats have it easier than me. They don't have a care, and I
Mono.
want to be like goats have
Regular.
it easier than me. They don't have to worry about getting likes on their Facebook posts, whether they're Insta famous or even whether they're being
Yeah, cool. Yeah, the halftime. I've always liked this song for its change ups there. It's really cool. Alrighty dokie. Yeah, GarageBand Guide. Tremor Bear was asking about Patrick. It's Patrick from the GarageBand Guide. And we're going to close with some news about Patrick and something that's coming up soon. Hello, Cold Acre, by the way. So what I wanted to do here, if we just embiggen our meter there, if you're finding that you don't have enough headroom for it to master properly, I haven't actually tried this before, but I'm assuming, human, that we can drop our stereo out here. because we're not dropping the master, but if we drop our stereo out, in fact, let's just do an experiment. Let's drop it by like 6 dB. And then with the mastering assistant on, is this going to do what I think it's going to do?
Retweeted. I want to be like a goat.
Or is it just going to turn it way down now? It's just turned it way down, hasn't it?
Goats have it easier than
That's just my guitar.
They don't have to work. They don't have to lift a finger. Goats have it easier than me. They don't have a care. And I want to be like goats have it easier than me.
So no, it hasn't worked. I was hoping that it would just be a quick sort of simple way to reduce down your stereo out and then boost it. You could probably do it by riding the loudness up here, but then you're going to use that off. That's right, we need to reanalyze, wouldn't we? Need to turn off the limiter and reanalyze. I forgot that you need to reanalyze here once you've actually made a change. Let's do that real quick. So if we just drop this down again, we'll drop it down by just 6 dB and then reanalyze. What's it going to do now? Because I forgot about that because it's all automated, that it had to redo all the assessment of it. So it should give us the same like EQ curve there and then create the mastering chain for us. Drum roll, please. There we go. So let's see.
They don't have to worry about getting likes on their Facebook posts, whether they're Insta famous or even whether they're being retweeted. I want to be like a goat.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. What I might need to do is what I did before and just put a little gain plug-in. So I just put a gain plug-in on the master bus just before the limiter. The other thing that we can do here is come in here and actually look at add in a peak meter as well. So as well as your mastering there, you can actually come into your metering here and you can add, the loudness meter is already in there, but you can actually add an overall level meter here. So if we come in and look at that one, that'll actually show you your peaks and it'll tell you where it's peaking out to as well on that one. But we're not here to kind of do the mastering thing. We've done that before. Let's just export this and see what it's actually going to do here with all these. Now that I've messed it up, I've got no idea what those final changes were. But to export our mix, once you've gone from GarageBand here into Logic Pro, we've got an uncompressed wave, 24-bit, 44.1 kilohertz. We're going to share this whole project length. We'll hit the share button there. It's going to export it, and then we're going to bring it on in. Yeah, it's something I think we need to try and solve for, Jade, and I reckon it's going to require you either have to remix your whole track to make sure you've got headroom, or I think what I did on my first master before the mastering assistant was just throw that gain plugin in, gain it down by 6 dB, and then do the mastering on top. But we'll see. Let's open it up in audio share. Yes, I got some old trash. So yeah, you can see there, because I made those final changes, it hasn't brought it right up to the top. But the overall sound's going to be pretty good.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, let's go!
Yeah, so yeah, and don't forget, you can also manually master. So all the mastering assistant's really doing is doing some adaptive EQ. So you can see that's what this is doing here. It's actually changing up the EQ at the different frequencies throughout the track, and then it's adding a limiter, and then it's adding some stereo width. And you can do all those things yourself. You can put EQ, you can put a limiter, you can put your own stereo width. This just does it all automatically, but you've still got the ability to have complete control over it. Yeah, I reckon so. We'll explore it in a little bit more detail. Yes, good old audio share. Wouldn't be without audio share in my iPad. It is the go-to. It is the goat. Speaking of goats, it is the goat. So yeah, really simple to bring your GarageBand projects. And look, I don't really believe in living in the past. I'm not going to go back to every GarageBand project I ever did and remix it and remaster it. But this is one that I have to do anyway. So I thought I'd bring it on over into here and play around with it. And if you keep tuned into the channel, make sure you subscribe and make sure you're liking and doing all the YouTube things, because we will be jumping into this in the future. It's audio share on sale at the moment. For those that aren't audio share convertees, if you don't have audio share, just buy it. Look, I don't say just buy it for many things. In fact, for almost anything. I don't think that there's anything that's essential. You can get away with completely free stuff, but Audio Share is one that I just say go buy it. So there it is, $2.99 at the moment. Is that that's the US price? I think it's usually only $4.99. Like really, it's less than $5, like all the time. Just go and buy it because it does everything. I've done complete videos on it, but it is your one-stop shop. It is an audio converter. It is an audio trimmer. It is an audio recorder. It's an audio storage spot. Like I just have all my stuff in my Audio Share. Like it's nuts. Yeah, just use it, buy it. It'll be good for you. There you go. You got it for free. Well, there you go. My iPad says that Logic Pro does not allow me to use it. Yeah, so you do need a reasonably modern iPad, Lawrence. So you'll need at least a 2017, 2018 or above iPad. Anything earlier than that, unfortunately, is not going to be powerful enough to run Logic Pro for iPad. It's a bit of a bummer. But yes, so unfortunately, if you don't have a compatible device, might be time. Black Friday, they're going to have some iPad sales. We won't know. But you may know because if you join me on the next show that is happening on a Friday, it is this one. It's Gear Chat Live. It's our Black Friday marathon stream. We'll be hanging out and doing it live. Yes, it's the A12 or higher. If you go to logicipad.com, I've got a beginner's guide to Logic Pro, and that has all the specs and details in there as well. But yeah, hello Papa Courtney, hope you are doing well as well. So yeah, do join me for that one. You'll be dumped over there straight after this show. Do also remember to jump in and check out this one. This is the Music for Life charity project. Lots of cool music. That'll be a great double album launch on Turkey Day. So go and check that one out there. And if you would like to join us for some celebration in just 2 weeks' time, if you just type in Pete John's GarageBand Weekly, just look for we're not going to be there. GarageBand Weekly 200. Is that going to find it? Come on, there it goes. Look for the picture of the two baldo beardo weirdos, because that's me and that's Patrick from the GarageBand Guide. In just 2 weeks' time, Patrick and myself will be celebrating 200 episodes. That's nearly 4 years of this show. Who would have thought a little thing like GarageBand would generate so much content? And I know many of you have been around for a long time and almost all 200 episodes. I think the likes of Thomas and Mark have probably been here on about 190 of those. And Thomas doesn't even use GarageBand, just so you don't think that Thomas isn't super committed. He's not even really a GarageBand user, but he still hangs out with us in there. Yeah, basically same guy with glasses drawn on. Exactly. The AI stuff doesn't really distinguish much, does it? Slightly different eyebrows maybe, and it's given me slightly more hair. I promise I didn't press a button to do that. But yeah, it'll be fun. GarageBand is indeed awesome. It's going to be a fun time on that one. Final question here. We'll sign off in a moment. I'll say goodbye to folks. I've made a few changes to my internet setup, and today at my end, it didn't show any issues with video streaming or with audio streaming or with the quality, no dropouts and no blurriness. So can you just let me know if anyone had any of them? Can you just let me know if you did? I'm going to go back and rewatch it, but I figure since no one put anything in the chat throughout, it was at least tolerable, if not pretty good. So I've done some bandwidth capping, and I've gone into my router and changed a bunch of settings and tried to just say, look, my Wi-Fi, you've got 10 megabit while I do my show. So I've put the prioritization, so the QoS, quality of service, to say my Mac is number one. Everything else in the house can go down in the list, and Mac is number one. Sounds like it's good. No issues. Excellent. Cool. So fingers crossed the changes I've made have given us a little bit of a push there, because I think it's just that. Does anyone else have this problem? You've got the whole Internet of Things thing, that there's just so many devices that all it takes is for one device to just suddenly go, I need to update. I'm going to download that 2 gigabyte iOS update to random iPad I forgot I even had, but is sitting on charge in my cupboard. And then it just grabs all of my bandwidth and pulls it all down. So I've basically said, no more. If it's not in this Mac, then you don't get any bandwidth. So there we go. Little lag to start with. Yeah, cool. Yeah, the start of streams can often be issues anyway. Like when you first start it, it's like the little bike has to just like. Yeah, I know. And look, some of it is not going to be avoidable, but definitely want to. When I live stream, yeah, I know. Yeah, some of it's completely unavoidable. Some of it's just the YouTube end. Some of it's StreamYard. But yeah, if I can get my end as close as possible to good, then that'll be a good thing. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. That's our last live show for the next couple of days. We will have the podcast this week, which will be on Thursday evening, Friday morning here in Australia. And then, of course, we're doing our big gear chat marathon happening Saturday morning here in Australia and Friday afternoon or evening for our friends in the US, Canada, and the UK. But for now, as we say at the end of each and every show, please be kind to yourself, be kind to others, keep creating, and remember, goats have it easier than me and you. See you next time, folks. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, let's go! Goodbye. See ya. Bye for now. Rock on. Thanks for being here.
I find it hard to be okay with all the things that are happening in this world, and I find it harder day by day. All the news that is fake, all the walls that they make, and there's one thing that I am sure of: goats have it easier than me.